So be it, Jedi.
What's going on, guys? Back in another video. Another episode of Read or Skip It. And today we're going to be talking about Paradise Snare by A.C. Crispin. We start this off by saying, I'm honestly shocked at how much I enjoyed this book. Having read the Lando Trilogy, I was sort of apprehensive to read a story about a younger main character from the original trilogy. This one, of course, being about Han. But yeah, I'm hooked. I'm on the second book. Can't wait to get through it. Let's get right into it. So this story takes place about 10-ish to 12 years prior to A New Hope. It's a younger Han. He's, honestly, it's kind of hard to tell, anywhere from 17 to 19 years old because he's 29 in A New Hope. It tells a story of how he was brought up, his childhood, his upbringing. And to start things off, Han was pretty much a child that was left on the streets. He was a beggar. He was essentially, destitute until he was found by a man named Garrus Shrike. And Shrike was pretty much a scumbag who took him up and other children and raised them to be scoundrels and thieves and pickpockets to pretty much earn their keep on his starship. And he was pretty much just somebody that was kind of a smuggler, kind of a shady dealer in many things. So throughout Han's entire childhood, he was abused. He had to be, a pickpocket and a thief to get by. And all he could think about was joining the Imperial Academy and getting away from all this. We also learned that throughout his childhood, there was really only one person on the ship that really cared for him, and it's an older Wookiee woman named Delwana. She was like his surrogate mother, and it sort of sprinkles in as to why he cares so much about Chewbacca later on in the original trilogy. So at the age of, like I said, 17 to 19, it's hard to tell, Han decides he's going to escape Garrus Shrike's ship. He does so by sneaking aboard an Elysian robot ship, they call it, and going back to the planet Elysia, where pretty much everybody talks about how good of a place it is to work. He wants to be a pilot. It's sort of like this religious commune. So once he sneaks aboard this ship and makes it to Elysia, he gets a job as a pilot running spice to and fro, because the entire planet of Elysia is essentially a spice refining compound. He soon finds out that this is like a cult. The Talandatil, who are like the Elysian masters, the ones in charge of the spice operation, essentially take people called pilgrims and use some sort of, and they're able to essentially trick the pilgrims into thinking this is a religious cult, but they're actually just using their own native species guttural incantation type thing that sort of releases this sensation of ecstasy and euphoria. And that's how they're able to get these people to work in the spice factories and do their bidding up until about a year, and then they ship them off as slaves or to work in the spice mines of Kessel. So when Han becomes a pilot, he's assigned a bodyguard. His name is Murg. He's essentially like a big Togorian cat. And pretty much the Talandatil, the leaders of the Elysian planet, put the bodyguard on him to prevent him from stealing any spice or just slipping out of line. Well, throughout the story, they become friends and even allies. In one of the spice refineries, Han meets this woman who he's automatically attracted to, wants to know more about her. She really shows no interest. She's kind of sworn off any other worldly things in order to serve this, the one and the all, as the Talandatil call it. She's brainwashed. So Han soon finds out that this whole thing is a sham, and they're just, using people for free labor and essentially just, indenturing them into servitude. Well, he decides that he's going to make friends with this girl. Her name's Bria, and she's addicted to this religious experience, this exaltation, they call it. Well, he tries to tell her, like, hey, this isn't real. You're being lied to. Eventually, she finds out, and they decide they're gonna, they got to get off planet because they're gonna ship her off to either be, a slave or die by working in the mines of Kessel. But this time, Murg, his bodyguard, and Han have sort of become close, and Murg is on Elysia looking for his mate. Well, Han breaks the news to Bria, hey, we're going to get out of here, we're going to steal some stuff to, sell later on. Well, Merc doesn't like that because he's sort of sworn his allegiance to the Elysians and he's going to kill him. Well, then Han says, hey, I think your wife is here and they've just been lying to you the whole time. Come to find out that's true. They, essentially break out of there in a very, unorderly fashion. Han, Bria, they go to Merg's home planet. He's reunited with his wife. They get married. Then Han and Bria, leave and go about their plans. Han's going to join the Imperial Academy. But this whole time, Bria's almost like a recovering addict. She keeps thinking about this exaltation. She's, constantly thinking about, Super Slide because she's so hung up on this false religion that she's been sold. They go to her. She's from Corellia. They go to Corellia. Han meets her family. They're kind of scumbags. Come to find out she's rich, but her dad's a decent guy. Of course, they don't like Han. They leave there, and they decide they're going to go to Coruscant. That way, Han can join the academy. That doesn't work out. Ultimately, Bria ends up leaving Han because she wants to, fight off whatever she's dealing with. She doesn't feel like it's going to work out. Of course, he's tore up about it. Garrus Shrike, the man that raised Han, that Han escaped from, is, after him now. And of course, there's a bounty on Han and Bria's head because they ripped off the Talantatil, who we come to find out are pretty much all ran by the Hutts. They're distant cousins of the Hutts, and the Hutts are the ones overhead of all of the operations going on. Well, there's a bounty on his head. Bounty hunter comes after him. Shrike comes after him. He's able to get away. Shrike is killed by the bounty hunter, and Han kills the bounty hunter that's after him. Sort of sets it up like he was killed in the process because, of course, he's got fake names and all this. And that gives him a clear slate to join the Imperial Academy. Bria's left him, but he started a new life. Sounds like things are going to work out for him. All in all, A.C. Crispin wrote a really good novel. I know Brian Daley has a trilogy that I'll eventually read as well. Like I said, I'm just super astonished at how much I really was hooked into this book and how much I enjoyed it, given the fact that it doesn't have Luke Skywalker, no Jedi. I was sort of skeptical, but man, it was just a page turner. It wasn't. Sometimes you read a story, you feel like you're just bored. You don't want to pick up the book, but I had a great time. Obviously, you should check this out. Paradise Snare, A.C. Crispin. It's a great story if you want to know more about Han and his early life leading up to him, in A New Hope. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and see you in the next one.
I'm sorry, sir. It's time for you to leave.